Well, good morning, everybody. Well, technically it's 12:09 right now, according to my clock, so good afternoon, actually. Well, as most of you guys know, Mondays are typically the days where I catch up on my sleep because I recover from my long weekend because I have some ridiculous hours on the weekend. So today I slept in till about 10:30ish. So I didn't catch up on sleep per se, but I feel well rested enough today. But today's off to a good start just because even though I'm heading over to the store late, today's a YouTube day, so I don't really have to worry about customers. But I did decide to stop by my mom's store today because number one, she was having Wi-Fi issues, so she didn't quite comprehend that she could accept she takes credit card payments via the Square app. And the thing is, like, she was still on the Wi-Fi, and I was trying to explain to her that she needs to get off the Wi-Fi and go on her phone and go on the 4G network. So she did that, but just went in to go make sure to check that everything was okay. But at the same time, I got to visit my mom some one-on-one time finally, and it was nice. It's always nice to see my mom because she's constantly worried about me. Being a mom, and she's so it's like I gotta take the time to go show her my face, tell her that I'm okay and everything, and I can't just leave it up to my fiance because she's been pretty much at the blunt end of all the questions and her worry and her stress. She's been pretty much projecting it all into my fiance, so that's not fair. So I gotta take some of that load off for her. So I went and did that today, and being my mom who she is, like, she's I think it's like this with any mom. She doesn't like seeing me exhausted. She sees that I'm working very hard. She's also upset that she wasn't able to give me more money when I was younger or now, so I wouldn't be working so hard. I could have started off the store on the right foot, and I just have to keep reminding her that that is grammatically wrong, but no, I just gotta continue to remind her. That's it. I continue to remind her that even if we had money, that doesn't mean I would be happier right now or that I'd be in a better situation right now. And I even told her too, like, we've met so many people that had money and they had spoiled kids and everything. And look at the kids now these days. They're spoiled rotten. They don't know the value of the dollar. They're continuing to working under their parents' business sometimes, or they're not pleasant people, and especially the new generation of kids, like people my age, and like I'm in the butt end of my generation, but the millennials right now raising the kids, they spoil the hell out of their children. They don't know the value of money whatsoever. They don't know punishment. They don't know any negative reinforcement other than you take their iPad away. Yeah, that's punishment. Good job, people. Tell them that they can't play their video games and iPads. Yeah, that's real punishment. That's really going to teach them good behavior. But my mom, being a mom, definitely worries about me. And the thing is, like, right as I was leaving, she started to cry because, then I stopped and I was like, oh God, what's wrong now? So I got in my car, went back to the store. I was like, Mom, what's wrong? And, for her, she just hates seeing me exhausted, working hard and everything. And before you guys go saying anything about her, it's like, guys, I was like, Mom, being a small business owner, anyone starting a new business, it's really tough in the beginning. Half my family are all entrepreneurs and they put in the hours and they all know it, but it's my mom, so she just doesn't want to see her baby being exhausted and tired and stressing over money and whatnot. And so, like, she just that's just I think that's almost with any mom these days, but she just doesn't like seeing that. And I just have to remind her, it's like, Mom, it's okay. Like, yes, I am tired, yes, I'm not getting enough sleep, and yes, I'm stressing about money. I mean, that's not a lie. Money's a big dear concern. But I'm having fun. For the first time in my life, I'm not going into an office or work one day and stressing over everything. I'm not stressing about whether or not, I love my job or not. Like, I don't feel like I'm wasting my time. That's the thing. Like, yes, I was making decent money, but I feel like I was a freaking mindless zombie at certain times. Not to say that I didn't like my, old job and anything, but it was just like, I didn't feel like I was using my potential. Number one, I think that's for a lot of you as well. Number two, anytime that I did do something good in my mind, or do something, participated or created a project that did something good, it either wasn't recognized or it was completely ignored, and I was not compensated whatsoever. And not to say that, everything that you do you should get compensated for. No, it's not that at all. It's just felt like, why am I working my butt off to make another person rich? I mean, that's pretty much the sum of everything I want to say. Why do I have to keep busting my balls? Sorry. Why do I have to keep busting my ass for someone else's fortune? I'm not making myself rich by working there. It's pretty much, I'm working my butt off there to get by. And that's just, it's not, and with that in my mind, that's just how I think. I just couldn't do it anymore. And so my mom knows that too. Like, she recognizes that I wasn't happy. But she just doesn't want to see me doing that. But, I just went in to kind of reassure her that I'm okay, that you didn't also, I helped out my fiance by telling my mom, it's like, you have to stop pushing Sarah. She's okay. If anything, when she comes to the source, there's really nothing for her to do, because, yes, I'm running around like a maniac, but at the same time, the customers I have, they're not only my customers and my members, but they're also becoming my friends too. Yes, there's a fine line where I have to distinguish between the two, but think about it. It's all my customers and members that come through those doors are like-minded folks. So they all share at least one interest with me. And on that interest, we could talk for hours. So in my mind, I could be working and doing other stuff, but still talking to them on the side. And it's not stressful at all. That's why when I used to work at GameStop, I didn't mind it half the time, because I was selling and talking video games every day. On the other corporate BS got in the way, and that's why I quit. But, I know I'm rambling on, but it's just, this is what I had to tell her. And, she still knows that, she understands, but, she's just my mom. So, I love her. And there's a reason why I'm working so hard, not only for myself, but for my parents. And you guys see it. And, it's really rare to see it in my generation these days, because the kids don't know the value of money. They don't know where they came from. They just feel entitled. Even people in my generation and up, they feel entitled. And that's the thing. For me, I'm a little different, because I'm first generation American, or first, second generation, because my parents and I have this debate all the time, because they immigrated here, so they say that they're first generation, but I'm like, but I was born here first, I'm first generation, so whatever. But either way, for me, yes, they did their best to give me a good life, but at the same time, I saw how they struggled. And I recognize that. And so for me, I don't take that for advantage. If anything, it motivates me to work even harder. I don't sit there saying, oh, I got a college degree, I got an MBA, I deserve more money. No, it doesn't work that way. Just because you got your degree, or just because you just pranced through school because your parents paid it for you, doesn't mean you deserve all the money in the world. It really doesn't. Just because you finished a report on time doesn't mean you deserve a raise. It doesn't work that way. You gotta put in the work. Yes, there are those people who golden parachutes, and little emperors from China, and you guys have all your parents' money, but for the rest of the people out there, you gotta work for it. Just because your parents have the money to give to you doesn't mean that you just live off that the rest of your life. You gotta make something for yourself. Your parents aren't gonna be around forever. How are you gonna take care of yourself and even your future kids? And for me, I recognize how hard they work. I still see how hard they work. My parents they're not young anymore, but they're putting in all these hours. My dad works hard. My mom and my dad work harder than anyone I ever seen. You got people who talk crap about Asians can say all they want, but we work our butts off, folks. I don't want to say we, but they do. And you got you can say all you want about them stealing jobs and blah blah blah, but they work hard. The immigrants coming in, working a lot of the labor-intensive work that people are complaining about. This is my opinion on it. At the same time, they're working their butts off to make that paycheck. There's so many people in this country that won't even dare lift a bag for $1. They don't want that kind of job because they feel entitled. You know, then make way for the people who do want to work and provide for their families. They don't want to just work off of government welfare. They want to earn that money so they can take care of their family, to send their kids off to school, so they can have a good life. You know, don't talk crap on them. Because anytime I hear about people like talking about foreigners coming in and stealing our jobs, this country was made off of foreigners. I'm sorry, this is not a one race country. This is a mixing bowl. This is a salad bowl country. You know, and I'm pretty sure that goes with the rest of the world out there, because I know I have a couple people internationally watching my videos. You know, you gotta put in the time. You gotta work hard for make things work. You know, I see all these videos online. I follow this one YouTuber called JoJo. He runs Just Kidding Films, and you know, he came from very humble beginnings too. And everyone, I see his comment boards, and people are always calling, and he calls it out too. He's like, people always say, oh, he's just lucky that he was at the right time, and you know, oh, now he has all these nice cars and has all this money. You know, he just got lucky. He's so good. You know, how can we get rich like he did? And he emphasizes it all the time, and it's so true. It's not that he got lucky. He kept at it. He kept working hard. And I know people will also argue, well, just because you put in the hours and just because you work hard doesn't mean that you'll succeed. And that is also true. But the thing is, you won't know until you try. And the thing is, like, putting the hours and the time doesn't just mean you clock in every day and clock out every day. And just because you go in there 5, 6 days a week, oh, I put in the hours, I should deserve a raise. No, you gotta do your best to go out of your way to do more. If you guys realize, yes, half the time people get promotions because they know people, but the other half too is because good managers will recognize good behavior. They will recognize people who work their butts off and everything. And I'm sorry, like, I think this is going to be today's topic. If anything, I'm just going to talk like this for now. You know, you gotta put in the time. You know, and that's what I am right now. I put in my time. If you guys look at my last jobs, all my other jobs, it's because I thought outside the box. I came up with a unique project, or I thought of a unique idea to help progress the store or improve things. I didn't just come in and just put the hours. I went on my own time and did extra stuff, and that's why I got certain promotions here and there. You know, I know that doesn't work in every situation, but you really gotta have that mentality. If you are lazy and you're just like, oh, I should just get it just because I clock in every day, you won't get it, folks. You just won't. And yeah, sorry. It hurts me every time I hear conversations like that. And after I saw my mom today, I just had to talk about it today, just because, you know, my mom and my dad, they remind me every day how lucky I am that I have parents who work so hard to make sure that I have a good life. You know, even now, they're worried about my business and everything. And so they are constantly working hard, you know, putting in the extra hours, going into work a little bit early to make sure that just in case if I need help, I need extra money, they can help me out. You know, I don't see that as, oh no, they should do it because they're my mom and dad. Oh yeah, of course they gotta give me money. No. You should be lucky that your parents are willing to do that for you. Because there's parents out there who won't do that. You know, try to go meet someone, random stranger outside your parents, that would be willing to work extra hours, willing to put the extra effort in there, just in case if you ever call to them for money that they'll do it for you. That's very rare and few. I know there's people out there, but really, people, I don't know if any of you think this way too, but you really gotta look up to your parents and just show them that respect. Like, you got to. I know I also know that not every family's that way. There's some horrible parents out there. I do understand that. But just in general, folks, you really gotta get your act together on certain things. So while some of you may think that, oh, I'm just running a game shop, or that, you know, I'm just a YouTuber, so I'm not really putting in the hours, it doesn't take much effort to make content and do all this stuff, you'd be dead wrong. You have no idea how much work goes into even making one video. So that's why when I hear a lot of people talk about, oh, so-and-so YouTuber shouldn't have so many subscribers. Oh, why are they making so much money as video gamers and stuff, or doing this, doing that? It's because they're putting the time. You do not realize how much time goes into not just shooting and editing, but keeping that upload schedule at the same time having a personal life. Being a YouTuber, it's a 24/7 job. Yes, I don't have, compared to a lot of these people, I don't have that many subscribers, but just maintain just even my 7,000 people, it's a full-time job. I get questions, I get hundreds of questions every day, hundreds of comments every day that I try to get back to. Shooting and uploading a review video is not as easy as many of you think it is. Especially if you want to put out some quality, video out, it takes some time. And at the same time, as I'm trying to be a full-time YouTuber, I opened up a store, and I inadvertently did this to myself. Well, I purposely did this because this is the life that I wanted. And listen, folks, it's not easy. It's really not. I'm building something that hasn't really been done before. So I'm putting in the hours. So for those of you thinking that, oh, he's just making a quick buck, and that kind of, it's not happening that way. I'm not making thousands of dollars from YouTube. I'm not making thousands of dollars from the store right now. I'm making pennies. I'm making significantly less than what I was doing during my full-time job. But I said this before, and I was willing to do this because this is the future I want to make for myself. So I'm putting in 16, 18-hour days, and yes, I'm barely getting 4 to 5 hours of sleep, if that. You gotta put in the time. There's so many people out there that put in more time than I do, and you got to do it. So for those of you thinking about opening up a new business or starting a YouTube channel, you got to commit to it. If you're going to make a YouTube channel just for fun, then that's just it. Leave it at that. Keep it fun. But if you're going to try to do it to make that your full-time job, it's a mix of fun and business, and you got to put in the time and effort, because there's a lot of people out there that now they look at YouTube as a quick get-rich scheme or something like that, and that's not happening anymore. It's not going to work that way. You want to run a successful channel to express your needs or to help your business out or something like that. Put in the time. You have a dream or passion, you got to put in the time. It just won't land on your lap. For me, I thought that way for a few years. I thought that if I just kept putting the effort, and I made a good business plan, got my degree, that an investor would one day come by and just sprinkle me with money. And that's just not going to happen. No one hands things to you. Just because you did the prerequisites that are established by the world doesn't mean that you'll get it. You got to go above and beyond that. I'm at the point where I decided to quit my job and launch this thing and go full-time YouTube with the little money I had. I didn't have a lot of money, folks. You look at my store and people are like, oh, wow, that was a lot of money. A lot of it's get-a-richt, a lot of it's on credit. I went way above and beyond what I was supposed to. But I'm doing this because you got to start somewhere. If I want to prove that my new business model works to anybody, I have to do it. I have to go out there and sacrifice my life for a little bit and put my life on the line, essentially, because this is my lifestyle. I gave up my umbrella, my foundation to do this. Like, if you want to prove someone to someone, you want to prove something to someone, you gotta put in, you gotta show them sweat equity. I mean, that's what a lot of investors say, because they get so many people that just come up to them. I have this great idea. You should give me millions of dollars so I can make it. No. Why would they want to take all the risk onto you when you took no risk yourself? And that's the law of the world, folks. Like, why should I help you if sorry, that doesn't make sense. That's a horrible to say. It's like, why should I give you money for your passion when you aren't willing to put any money and effort yourself into your own passion? How am I supposed to believe that? And with that in mind for me, and then there was another video about Jim Carrey's graduation speech out of college, and I think I'll post a clip for you guys up there. But he had this one quote that just really hit me. I think that after I heard that, and I watched a couple of JoJo's videos, that's when I decided to do this. And it's the fact that it's like, if you're going to, nothing in life is 100%. Nothing is. Just because you have that stable job doesn't mean it's 100% either. So if you have the potential to fail and fail at your stable job, and if that's going to happen, if there's a possibility for that, for me, I'd rather fail at doing something I love. I know I may have butchered the quote, but I'd rather fail at trying to do this. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I can learn from it, and I can move on and just become stronger from it. You can't be afraid of failure. I was for the longest time. That's why it took me so long to open this place. And for me, I'm still afraid. But I decided to do it anyway, because I will regret it for the rest of my life if I don't do this. I will. Because how can I pretty much put it this way, how can I ever look into my kids' eyes and tell them that, oh, you just need to put in the effort to make it work or stuff. And, pretty much doing everything I do, trying to tell them if I didn't do it myself. That's hypocritical. You can't give a life lesson to your child if you haven't gone through it yourself. I mean, that's the honest truth. You can't teach respect if you don't have respect for yourself. You can't teach hard work unless you show hard work. Like, a lot of people who meet me, a lot of people who hired me before were surprised on how much hours I was willing to put in, what I was willing to do, how hard I was willing to work. And it's not because I'm trying to go for the promotion. That is just how I was raised. For me, it was normal not seeing my dad all day long because he was putting in the hours to work. It was normal for me seeing my mom constantly working all day because while she was trying to raise me, she was working at the store. She was raising me in the store. She wasn't raising me at home. On top of that, my grandmother raised me half the time. And I'm gonna end it here too. Sorry, this conversation is going all over, but going back to the whole respect your parents. I want my mom and dad to help raise my children in the future. A lot of people out there do their best to get away from their parents and just be like, oh, I want my own life. But at the same time, there are certain life lessons that you won't be able to teach your children that your mom and dad can. There's also, like, while my mom and dad, they raised me well, I thought. And yes, I got punished a lot. But the person who showed me the most love, the most unbiased, the most, she did not judge me, was my grandmother. And I miss her dearly to this day. I'm starting tearing up. And for me, when I think about my grandmother and I see other grandparents out there, they give such undying love to their grandchildren. And it's not only because she's seeing her offspring's offspring, but the child that she loved the most, my dad and my mom, she pretty much adopted my mom as her daughter. She loved them so much, and then she was just so happy that, because if I look back and see how my grandmother was raised, she was born and she grew up in the Japanese colonial period, and during that time in Korea, it was really bad for the Korean people. They were very oppressed. It was just a harsh time for her to grow up in, but she grew up around that. And then she had my dad in the 60s, and it's just and she raised him with so much love, and then they came to America, and they started building a new life, and then she got to see my family, my entire family, go from all being in one house and all going off to their own places, running their own businesses, having children. How much more can you ask for as a parent? I don't know parents' love yet. I don't have a kid myself, but I can only imagine. And for me, I have nothing but gratitude, my love towards my grandmother, because she loved me so much. She's all out of all the grandkids, they always jealous of me because they would always say that my grandmother would always talk about me, because my grandmother's the one that technically raised me, because while my parents worked, I was always with my grandmother, and she would raise me. And and that's what I want from my parents as well too. Not from, but I want for my parents, because a lot of people are always bothered about mothers asking for grandchildren, and I can't explain why, because I'm not a parent myself, But if you go on YouTube, there's a flood of videos of moms and dad reacting to saying they're your grandchildren, and they start crying, and it's because they're just overwhelmed with joy and happiness. And for me, I want my kid to know their grandparents. I want my children to know that love, that literally unbiased love from my mom and dad. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm gonna have to be the bad dad, always having to spank the kids, spank them when they're bad, punish them and yell at them when they're doing that, because my parents are going to spoil the hell out of my kids. I know that for a fact, because they got their beating on me, and then they're just gonna show nothing but love to them. And even my dad said that. He's like, my job is to love, not to hate. I'm like, Dad, come on. And that's why I'm gonna work hard to make sure that my parents are not in some senior home. And my fiance, Sarah, she's okay with them living with us. I mean, yeah, we won't be together all the time, but my goal is to have 2 houses, one up here and one in Florida, hopefully. That's the goal. That's what I'm working towards. But it's so that my parents could have a place to get away to, and then at the same time, then me and my fiance have time to go out. Because what's nice, I have another friend who lives with his in-laws. And at the same time, he says it's 50-50, because there are times when he just wishes he was with just by himself with his wife and kids. But at the same time, his in-laws being there, being able to take care of the kids, gives him and his wife a chance to go out and go on dates and everything, and have their own alone time. There's advantages and disadvantages to everything. But that's what I wanted to do. And that's what I'm going to be doing, and that's why I'm working hard. It's not only for myself and for the lifestyle that I want, but it's to pay my parents back. It's to give them the life that they wished for me to them as well. Because, why? Because I see a lot of kids too these days. They go off living on these grand houses and having this good life while their parents are still away and alone. And for me, if I was in their shoes, I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't mind, And so for me, I'm going to work double, triple the effort to make sure that this succeeds, so I can provide for my entire family. Not just my kids and my wife, but my parents too. So, alright guys, well, I'm going to go ahead and end the video there. I apologize for going off tangent here and there. I read a couple comments this morning, and after seeing my mom, I just wanted to talk about this today, and just in response to those, and just, my mom works in many different ways, and I promise that my future vlogs, I will get better. With practice, practice makes perfect. So hopefully with each new vlog and videos I do, I will get better with topic talking. But no, thank you guys. For those of you, if you guys watched this part of the video, I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this vlog. And I would like to hear your guys' thoughts, just in general. So please go ahead and leave them in the comment section down below. And, I just like to hear what you guys think of all this and everything. But I need to get back to work. I'm gonna go. I need to turn off my car, get into the store. I gotta run a couple quick errands, eat lunch. I'm gonna do that. But as always, guys, please go ahead and leave a thumbs up if you liked the video, and if you haven't already done so, please hit that subscribe button for more future videos I will be doing for this channel. So there's that. So as always, guys, thank you for stopping by, watching my video, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.